Hello, y'all. Welcome to another Smoke Show Sunday. This is Kev, and this is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. And thank you for being here. Now, let me give shout outs to the members of this channel. Thank you for your continued support. We got D. Scott, we got Greg, Aaron Peters, Bill Brad, Creed Fan Forever, Dez, Black Light Revelations 2, Zen Tober, D Rock Den, Topaz presents a Neo Nubian's Nuances, Pulsar Echo, Chitera, and Tell Toya. What it is, y'all. Yeah, and just to give you some reminders, please be aware of going across what's to go across the bottom of the screen because that is important too. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if it's your first time here. Cash App down there, BMBBH for life. Fair use on any material that I use, and a language warning because I do curse quite often. Yeah, the tell you about the entrance music. That is by a creator named Lakey Inspired that does copyright free music for vlogs. And I thought that it sounded cool, so I've been using that for entrance music for like the past 2 3 years. So, what do y'all think about that in the chat? I mean, the reason why I play this interest music is because I want to lower everything down to a chilled environment. This is not something this is not a place that I want to be full of volatility, but since it's a smoke show, then hey, who knows? Let's see what happens tonight. So give some shout outs in the chat. Shout outs in the chat. Phil Brad, man, come on. Tell Toya, she said I got smoked tonight. She that's awesome. Shit. Yeah. And Phil Brad has figured out what she was talking about on that. So hey, then we got RPM. What's going on, man? What's going on? Yeah, we got Charles. No, well, it's not sleep, but thanks for trying to explain, I guess. Rogish the Build Monger says, "Peace from the gig. We got this syrupy version this evening." Said cold. Uh, Said smoke something, bitch. Pimp C. And we got Y Skinner Man Cave. What's going on, man? Always good to see you. Always good to see all of you, man. This is Smoke Show Sundays, and the topic for tonight is this simple: crying for these hoes. So, man, something's going on with my slideshow tonight. I really wanted to share some things with you guys. Some of these options are always like stream y'all acting funny with the shit. So come on, pop up, man. I want to show you guys some stuff. Shoot, I might have to upload it another kind of. Oh, there it is. Good, 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 good. Now, you know what I always say about these broadcasts. If you're gonna come up here, frequent the panel, says crime for these hoes is against the rules. Look, I just want us to be able to deal with things as gentlemen and as adults should. The panelists that come up here aren't always male; sometimes they're female. So I'm an adult, and all according to my analytics, everyone who watches this program is an adult as well. So we're gonna we're gonna get into some adult stuff, but with sort of a comical twist, I guess. But last night, last night I mentioned something about being a cult leader. I would say, because 6 years ago I did something that triggered a lot of people. I created and formed a Facebook group that gave black men in particular a level playing field. And you know why that I did that? I did it basically to, like I said, to, like I always say on this channel, to give the black man a voice, to strengthen that voice. And for the most part, for people who frequent this channel, they appreciate that. They appreciate that voice being out there. And I appreciate being able to bring it to you, every every week or so, or whenever I can. And that's why I did it. I created a Facebook group named Black Men Being Brutally Honest with Everyone. And, the group is not doing what it used to do. In fact, it's kind of dead right now. I'm trying to do everything I can to, get it to resurge, but hey, it is what it is. I'd rather have this place surge because this 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 right here is where it's at. YouTube for me is better than Facebook because this gives us an even more level playing field. And the thing is, I've seen so many black men give up their voices, give up their power, just to, I would say, make the other side of this feel better, or submitting to the groupthink of it all. And that's not necessarily a good thing, just to try to, submit to groupthink just so things can be easier. And one thing that I always encourage black men to do is say, fuck all that shit. I'm going to say what I got to say, and you could either take it or leave it. And that's the mentality that I came up with. So, came up to YouTube with, rather. So, yeah. Also, just shout out to Grown Man Business and Book Alpha Running Me, Dr. BOA, uh, two grown ass men from the state of Alabama, just like myself. I tuned into them for a little while, and I might say that I was very proud to see Alabama representing the way they did. So that was a very good broadcast. Go check them out sometimes. Just not now because I'm on the air. So anyway, yeah, I want to share some things with you. There has been something in this space that's been quite the stir, and it's tied to my homegirls at the Breakdown a Woman's Perspective. Um, yeah, they were interviewing this content creator named Princella, the Queen Maker, and as far as I'm concerned, is from what I hear from her, she's kind of cuckoo. She kind of is. I don't know what's going on inside the head of a person like that, but she seems like she's sort of hurt, I would say. And I know that's used as a sort of a shaming tactic, because we always talk about sign language around here, and sign language this and SBE that and everything. And what's going on is that there's this thing that people are saying called, I would say, they're trying to label it a gender war, which, um, I'm very careful when I use that term, because I'm speaking to a context that people have shared on, social media platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, I guess Twitter, and some publications. And the the thing is, and I've always said this, it wasn't ever called a gender war till black men realized that we could use our voices, you know, for something other than saying, yes, ma'am, okay, or I don't want to, I don't want to argue or anything like that. Something like that, or happy wife, happy life. All these other things that these people say. And it's cool until things start to get out of control. What I mean by out of control is the more and more that black men who are supposed, like, who they say and who they tell us are supposed to be leaders, those very black men stayed silent for years and just let the bullshit slide. And I can tell you firsthand what effects that is to for a black man or black men in general to give up our leadership and give up our voice and just let things slide. And once we realized, that we could do everything that everyone else was doing, you know, and more, because we're black men. We are, as Toya says, we are elite. And anyone that doesn't believe that has a failed way of looking at things. You failed yourself in not giving yourself a chance. as a black man. And I don't know about any of you that's listening, but I know what I feel and what I carry around. Everywhere I go, I hold my head. I hold my head up high. You know, stick my chest out. And if I have to beat my chest a little bit, I will, depending on the situation. I'm mostly a chilled guy, but the thing is that uh, when you try to put yourself into this little box of, I don't want any conflict, uh, I don't, I don't want, to frustrate people, or I don't want to hurt these feelings by saying this and saying that, then you put yourself in a position to fail as a black man. And, I don't think that most of you guys understand that. You don't understand how important your voices are. And when there are other black men trying to minimize that importance, then I think that it's time for black men who aren't about that bullshit to hold down the fort, hold the line, as they say. Because the more and more you ignore everything that goes on around you, the more and more problem that it creates. The more and more you are silent, the more and more you are complicit to all of the bad shit that's happening. And, you know, I don't want to be responsible or complicit for any of that shit. It's affecting everyone in a negative way. It's affecting the men in a negative way. It's affecting the women in a negative way. It's affecting the children in a negative way. And I don't know if you understand the seriousness of that, because of that, here we are right now. Here we are right now. And you can disagree with this if you want to. We're basically playing damage control because, and I have to be pretty candid about it. This is where the language part comes in, because basically there are some stupid motherfuckers out there. Stupid motherfuckers that don't want peace, that don't want common sense. This, and it's something that should be absolutely intolerable. But the thing is, we have given up our ability as black men to levy consequences. And that's pretty bad. And I'm sorry for you. You can all get mad with me as you want, but hey, I'm gonna encourage us to start swinging shit the other way. If you believe that's a detriment to black men, then state it. State what your problem is. Be brave enough to do that. Be brave enough to step outside your comfort zone and tell brothers what's up. And I'm not just talking to the females because I know how that shit goes. I'm talking to everyone who listens to this program. Uh, I'm talking to everyone who has a problem with black men voices being out here. And it's not even it's not even like other races that have this problem right now. It's us. It's people who look like us, people who share the same skin hue, people who try to say race is a construct. If you don't get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, race is a construct. Same niggas be trying to call themselves like, "Oh, I'm part Indian." I say, "All right, nigga, I'm part Indian." But see, here's the thing. I don't. I just said something like that. I don't. I'm not criticizing anyone's heritage because I do know a couple of people that are part Indian. So if hopefully I didn't offend those people. But at the same time, there'll be people that claim all these other ethnic groups, and they look as black as fucking midnight. But depends on how you feel about yourself. But some of those same people will circle back around and tell me, or ask me, why do I call myself black? Why do I say I'm a black man? That's what I identify with. Sorry. Shit, we have been as far removed from our original culture and our original, race or ethnic background, as far as you can take it. And people want to be overly critical, overly hyper. about it because they want to be a signature person in all of the conversations and narratives that go around these spaces. So we just, black men in particular, we have to be better at nipping shit in the bud. And it's okay because if you don't, you're gonna go back to the place that you was before, crying for these hoes. So anyway, let me show y'all a few things. So we got Terry S in the building. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Aaron Peters. We got Nightish. We got Hybrid Catastrophic Impact X83rd Power. Princella is definitely projecting. I want to show y'all something real quick. I want to show y'all something real quick. Let me see. Maybe on the next slide. And all these motherfuckers around here talking about, oh man, them niggas talking about Princella. Oh, they making her relevant. Oh, let me tell you. And I said this. Here's a hack that anyone in social media and mainstream media can use. If you want to get a little popular around these places, all you got to do is hate on black men. Ain't nobody trying to make this bitch popular. Nobody. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I'm talking about when why I mentioned the group. Okay. Now, all right, this was a post I made 5 years ago in my Facebook group when the Facebook group was at its height. So let me take this brand away for a second because I want y'all to get a full clear context. Yeah, so I'm a very passionate black man, and I was very passionate about bad narratives being put out about black men. So yeah, this was May 9th, 2018. I made this post, and it got quite the heat from some people. I scratched out names where I could. So I said in this post. So basically, black women are running black men off. We are coming for y'all. The root bitter ass black feminism, very smart brothers. For Harriet, this BS publication right here, crybaby millennials. Yeah, I used to love poking fun at the millennials. All of you. And if you black and you try to get in our way, we're gonna roast your dumb ass. Uh, y'all are gonna be sorry for this. Fuck yourselves. You don't have to make us dislike you. You're already there. This article. It was saying black women don't like you because you're crusty. They don't like you because you're crusty, not because you're nerdy. And I've discovered another content creator that was in my Facebook group at one point. And I just kind of just gave myself the head smack for that because it made me feel responsible. And I'll explain it in a second. Uh, yeah, that comment at the top, I want you to read the name. That's Princella. That is the Princella. She was in the group. So she said the reality is dudes who are crusty want to date out of their league. They believe they are entitled to big booty, long haired, light skinned, flat stomach chicks who everyone wants to date. And they're mad because they don't qualify for those chicks. And I'm sitting up here like, what the fuck is qualify? I hear this a lot. Oh, you're complaining about chicks you don't qualify for. What? This is a fucking job that I'm applying for? Pussy's a job you're applying for. You're not qualified. And I get what they're saying. If you are a guy who is 300 pounds, you're smelly, you wiping Cheetos off on your damn shirt, you shouldn't expect a dime. And I get that logic. So the comment directly under hers is mine. And then, and then it wasn't a directly. This wasn't directly talking to her. It was talking to all them chicks on the chat because we had a lot of women in that group that looked like some Gila monsters, and they thought that they could just like I tell the guys who are subpar, I tell the women who are subpar too. Shit, what the fuck are you talking about? Why the fuck are you even open your goddamn mouth? So my thing was, maybe if you look like this, my feelings might be a little touch. Wait, nah. I used to troll the shit out of them motherfuckers, man. But the thing is about this is I could have possibly created a few monsters because I used to drag the shit out of people. And anybody who came with and said something stupid, I would directly respond to it. And everybody was like, "Well, Kev, maybe you should, stay out the group a little bit, let them do their thing, blah blah blah." I was like, "No, fuck that shit. That's not what I made this group for. What do I look like making a group for black men voices and I'm a silent black man? Shut the fuck up." But we always like this. This has been like this for a while. I named that group Black Men for a reason. And then like I told somebody yesterday, shoot, these women didn't come to this group to do anything except argue. Now, at the time, and I could show y'all some screenshots, but I ain't gonna put nobody business out there. But Princella was married at that time. She did a post with her husband in it, you know. And I don't know what happened in between now and back then to make her come up here with such vitriol for black men. Yeah. So it's pretty obvious that when you listen to her talk, she's kind of a hurt bitch. you know, is all this negativity toward black men. And the reason why she's so flagrant with it is because we've let people like her get away with this bullshit for far too long. I'm not saying that, hey, we should do something to punish her or anything or anything like that. But here's my thing. Here's my thing. It's actually starting to kind of wear on me a little bit that, and this is like not even a little bit of what used to go on. I mean, it used to go on exponentially like this all the time. And it wasn't only her, it was a lot of It was a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them couldn't look in the mirror and say, "Hey, I'm beautiful. I'm worth it." No, they used to feel a certain way about themselves and then come to the group to project that. And then a lot of those people who are in that group on that post, they're in other Facebook groups today doing the same goddamn thing, keeping up the gender conflict, the so-called quote unquote gender war, which is fucking stupid. Because you can't sit there and then co-sign with women talking shit about black men all these fucking years, decades even, and then when finally a black man opens his mouth, all of a sudden it's a gender war, you know, or the thing that I like to call the war where no bullets were fired because you're triggered because you can't debunk shit. So your solution for that is to call people nerds, dusty, incel. That's the solution to that. That's the solution to that shit. So I'm not a stranger to any of these people. I know what the mentality is. It's not anything new or anything strange or alien to me. These people been on that bullshit. And like I said, this was 5 years ago. This was 5 years ago. This was actually this was shortly after I started my YouTube channel. Facebook groups are irrational, illogical scapes where people try to keep up this bullshit gender war. And the group that I created is no fucking better. It's not, So to say that I am responsible and accountable for some of the madness, I do take accountability. But the thing is, I can't control people. I can't control what they think. I can't control what they believe. The only thing is, I can just offer a rebuttal and leave it at that. So, all right. So let me go back to these comments in the chat. What's going on, Chaos Rain? I see you down there. Yeah. Let me see. All right. He said Priscilla is definitely projecting. Yeah, she projects like a motherfucker. Chaos Rain. Was good. Said a lot of feminists see so much as a social construct men wanting variety when it comes to a woman, men working blue collar, men wanting purity in women, boys roughhousing. All right, Charles Faulkner. Oh, what's going on, officer? Good to see you. Weather. Part Indian here, mom's side. I'm offended, Kev. LOL. Thank you for the super chat. Oh shoot, we got another one. And he said, Kev, I agree with her comment, and honestly, a lot of men outside this space probably do too. But is what it is let me see. The reality, let's read it again. The reality is dudes who are crusty want to date out of their league. Um, I'm not a mind reader, okay, and reality says different. You know, it's just I don't see dudes out here trying to say that, hey, girl, you got to look like a fucking Instagram model. Maybe you do, but I don't. And when like I said, when I go to public places, I see women of all shapes and sizes with men of all shapes and sizes. So they, if if anything, they are championing an existence on social media that just isn't real. So, all right, thank you for your support, Weather. And, any of you can drop a super chat if you would like. Don't let Weather be by himself, or, you know, Weather can keep going. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate this. Ray Humla, what's going on? Detroit 0861. We all came up off the back of some black woman. That's that's where the qualified talk comes from. Is that her in the picture? No. Can't see in red. What's going on? Black Light Revelations. What's going on? Is it Black? Okay, yeah, he's shouting out everyone. Says K Rock got the game and been holding out on us. Cartel, what it is? Oh, hashtag blame Kev. Yeah, man. Turi S said that was an insecure comment because she's downplaying women who do not look like that, possibly even herself. Cartel, what it is? Yeah. All right. Like a Dragon, Yakuza series generation official. What's going on? The Passport Bros movement are winning. Okay. All right. So let me go to the next slide here. Let me show y'all this. All right. This post right here, 127 votes. I showed y'all this last night, but showing it to y'all again. I got a screenshot. It got up to 127 votes. So good shit. Good shit. Thanks for whoever participated in the poll, whether you're watching this broadcast, whether you're a part of the replay gang, or you just, like to put your vote in. Because one thing I discovered about putting out polls and stuff, people love to participate. So I was like, what do you believe the anti black manosphere's problem? What do you guys believe is the anti black manosphere's problem? So out of 127 votes thus far, 54% said gynocratic as fuck. 31% said utter jealousy and contempt. 10% said they hate us because they ain't us. 5% said out of man puns. I'm not gonna tell you how I voted, but I thank everybody, and it triggered a content creator in particular. This guy right here. So it triggered him so much that he went on his community tab and tagged me. And he said, since, Kev is being very disingenuous in his poll, which the poll was satire anyway. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Disingenuous, whatever, nigga. I mean, it's obvious where the problem lies or who's trying to project the problem. Um, he said, since Kev is being very disingenuous in his poll, I will list down my issues and problems with the manosphere. By the way, Kev, I hope you and your crew are quote, man enough to dissect and deconstruct my list with data and facts. See, this is one of my major problems is with some bullshit like this is they'll ask for data and facts, but they won't provide any data and facts themselves. So let's see if he provides any let's see if he provides any data and facts. Okay, now boys, I see weather and hybrid catastrophic impact X-83rd power down there. Y'all going back and forth, but cool. So let's look at his list. He listed 8 things, 8 problems he had with the black manosphere, and then I'll show you my response. So whether you agree or whether you disagree, I have a feeling that whether agrees with this will probably agree with this, and you know this like I said, this content. I mean, this response to my poll came from Big J Triple X, and I believe the 3 X's is just a censor for jackass. So I'll be calling him Big Jackass from here on out. What up, Prime VA 757? Big J is a misfit going around gossiping about the manosphere. Hey, Weather. He said, I never wrestled dudes. I've wrestled and I've horseplayed with my brothers. We used to do all kinds of shit to each other. We used to jump off the top of the bed and do splashes and shit. Figure 4 leg lock, scorpion death lock, all that stuff, man. So I think that, yeah, he said, ignoring the women, guys hate this space. Okay, what up, V? What it is? So, yeah, so let's go down this list, and then I'm gonna show you my response. Uh, said number one, sexism, unwarranted attacks on innocent women and girls. Number two, manosphere is a gateway for fascism because a lot of young men, boys are lost and seeking direction while gravitating toward the dregs of society. Hmm. Number three, using outdated data and anti black talking points from conservative white men. Example, kicking the man out of the house argument when Supreme Court King versus Smith outlawed that in 1968, which is probably the only tangible thing that he's provided. And I could look it up right now, but if you guys remind me, if that's important to you. But number four, inconstant, which I believe he meant inconsistent in logic. Example, whining about single motherhood while having children and never married. Okay. Number five, harmful rhetoric from the manosphere slash SYSBM slash passport bros only serves to fuel another extremist groups like the divestors and the BWE. Like, okay, like it's the manosphere's fault the divestors exist. Like they wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't for us, which is total nonsense. Um, Number six, since the creation of Black Manosphere 2015, no, the Black Manosphere actually dates back earlier than that. There have been no serious political action addressing unemployment among young black men or the miseducation of black boys. Number seven, the idea that black manhood should be found from the lips or between the legs of a woman. Number eight, unwillingness to perform excellence in displaying intellect, compassion, or reason. Okay, so let me show you my response. It's gonna be Dane One. What's going on, man? I ain't seen you in a little bit. Everything cool? Then we got Aaron Peters up in here. Zentober. What is up? Good to see all of you. So, all right, gonna show you my response real quick. Okay, that's very small lettering. I will. Yeah, I was making this slideshow on the fly, but I'll do my best to have you follow this whatever I said, but I'll read it in real time. Okay, so okay, let's do this since you think I'm a fuck. Okay, all right, let me start over. I said, okay, let's do this since you think I'm fucking stupid, you loud, effeminate crybaby. I don't even know why I'm wasting my time with this. My advice is to grow the fuck up quick. Yeah, I don't show any mercy to motherfuckers. Um, he said number one. So that's my here's my response to number one. No one is attacking anyone. And I don't take supposed grown men who use the word sexism seriously. Yeah, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Whenever I hear a grown man use the word sexism, it comes out inside my head like this with a heavy list, like sexism. It's like because I believe this is how they're saying it. That shit makes a guy sus to me. Carlton Way One, what's going on? Saying we attack girls is dishonest as fuck. It is. Countering loud and wrong females who can't do a meaningful thing with their content is not unwarranted. Be their bitch if you want. No one is stopping you. For real. Serious, real shit. Then there's my response to number two. Ninjas will say anything. I'm sorry if your father didn't show you how to be a man. Fascism. Right. Men come to us because they are tired of numb nuts like you. Seriously. Like a lot of guys are in this space because they receive bad advice from the men in their lives and it led them nowhere. So people want to try something different. Besides, people can watch who the fuck they want to watch. Nobody's up there, nobody's saying anything when a lot of you guys are there bussy popping in damn Miss Andrews chats. But I will tonight. Number three, y'all love giving white men power. I've dealt with peons like you growing up in the dirty South. We used to beat the shit out of racists. I can't help your slave mentality, but if you fuck with me, I will send your coon ass back running and crying to massa boy. Like, no, I was dead ass serious. Don't be tagging me on no bullshit like that. You asking me for that. You asking me for facts and data and stats and everything, and he didn't provide any himself. Fuck out of here. Um, Number four, I don't have those problems. But if these dummies don't start raising their children worth of shit, they have two choices. They can stay in La La Land with the rest of the slaves and mind their own goddamn business, or they will be discarded. Simple. Number five, the truth hurts. If y'all weren't so shitty at being black in the first place, there would not even be a need for a manosphere. Dudes need to learn preventative maintenance, not being gaslit to take anyone's bullshit. You can if you want. No one is stopping you from spreading cheeks. That's your business. Number six, get a job. Who cares? Most of us had to scrape and claw. Wham politics. And y'all could give a damn about black boys. You never did ever. That's just a disingenuous straw man argument. Seven, all I hear from you creatures is they can't get no woman, they can't get no poontang. Messaging much? I don't have those problems either, sir. A stupid fucking talking point to mask your incel tendencies and you're clamoring for positive female attention. Pathetic. So I didn't respond to number eight, but in that comment. But here's my response to number eight. Let's read number eight again. Unwillingness to perform excellence in displaying intellect, compassion, or reason. See, the compassion part comes from the fact of if a female messes up, we're not supposed to talk about it because it makes other females feel a certain way. And my response to that kind of thing is tough titty. And this the thing is, he said displaying intellect. I mean, we got people in this space who display intellect all the time. We just ignore it because number one, as a people, we shun intelligence. We shun intellect, and number two, that's not true any fucking way. Compassion or reason. Being reasonable, I guess that means that we're just supposed to agree with folks without any type of, response. Okay, I agree with your stupid shit. All right, let's continue. Like, I don't have any compassion for people who are destructive to what we're trying to do here. I don't have any compassion for people that are destructive to the community. I don't have any compassion for people who are destructive to black boys. I don't have any compassion for stupid motherfuckers. I don't have any compassion for people who just hate black men just to hate black men. No compassion at all. Go get hit by a fucking bus for all I care. Period. I will say I'm sorry that your family members gave birth to a weak ass motherfucker like you. And that just doesn't go for just big jackass. That goes for any of you motherfuckers that think in this horrible fucking way. Like, I'm just up here to attack women just because they women. I'm up here to be sexist and misogynistic. Okay, if you're gonna hit me with those labels, I'm just gonna live them out. None of this shit works on me at all. None of it. Fuck out of here. So we see if there's anything else that needs to be covered before I drop this link. There's 46 of you in here. I hope all of you are pressing like. All of you are pressing like. So I see you down there, Zentober. Shoot. I mean, what he's doing is an idiot's folly. Oh my God. And look at this already. Someone doesn't like this. So you know what we gotta do? Shoot, I got 2 dislikes already. Good.
He's in the walls. He's in the goddamn wall!
Now I'm feeling objectified by your male gaze.
Damn.
2 of them. What's going on, Art Install? What it is? Did I shout you out, Lashan? Uh, shoot. What is up with these folks, man? Yeah, I got 2 already. Said Crank Yankers is Hall of Fame worthy. Yeah, that's from a show called Blark and Son. I know what you're talking about with Crank Yankers, but yeah, Blark and Son. It came out a few years ago. Oh, DJ B side 1965. What's going on? Raven Knight says the manosphere needs to press for reparations. I mean, yeah, you got some guys that are in the manosphere that actually support reparations. Yeah, I support reparations. But you got some guys in the manosphere that don't support reparations. Shoot. But anyway, that's enough of this shit, man. You know, like we 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 yeah, just type Blark and Son in the in your YouTube search engine. That will lead to a lot, lead to some funny ass clips. So yeah. Anyway, what do y'all think? Do y'all agree with Big J Triple X's musings? Or, no, I'm sorry, Big Jackass, because that's what he is. And then when I gave my reasons, he declared me the loser and said my ego was bruised. Huh? Who the fuck is this guy at the end of the fucking day? Nigga, like anyone can declare themselves the winner of anything. Anyone. Robbie 8757 said that's exactly what black women do. Ask for stats and never provide any themselves. They don't. They ain't want to my his name is Big Juicy. No, I wouldn't call him that. Anyway, I'm not gonna spend any more time for that because I believe this guy's one of those attention seekers. Yeah, he's one of those attention seekers that want the attention of the black manosphere. And I could give him that attention, but at the end of the day, is it worth it? Not really, but I will give him this much credit. At least he came with something. He ain't like them other guys that I challenged that, declined and act like they're not ready when I show up on their asses, like that dude that calls himself Hulk. Like, what the fuck, dude? You called yourself my favorite superhero of all time. Let me see. Spider-Man, Batman, and the Hulk are my favorite characters, but the Hulk is my favorite. I'm like, how dare you disgrace that man like that? I said, Big Shirley. Oh man. Shoot. Yeah, I pulled up on him on a post, and he was like, I said, "Dude, you always crying about what men are saying. Like this is what I'm talking about. It's like you always like they always got something to say. They always got something to say, but when one of us show up, it's like, oh my god, no, what the hell is happening here? Y'all know what y'all been saying. Has anyone been reading Icon versus Hardware? Oh shit, they Milestone Comics. They are Milestone Comics. They got some new Milestone Comics. All right, so let me go ahead and drop this link. Drop this link, because like I said, I'm all for the black male voice, and I wish the power of our black male voices would increase. But there are obviously people that don't think so. He said, "Yes, it's amazing." Yeah, I gotta get into that because comic books have been sucking lately. Like comic books have been sucking balls. Shoot, it'll be nice to read up on some good comics again. R.I.P. Magoo. Oh, Magoo, he dead? No, Magoo and Timberland.
That's what I
Fuck.
read so far. Like he passed, but I guess Milestone made a comeback for about a year, close to 2 years now.
Okay.
What's up, Big Kev?
Yeah. What's going on, man? What are you?
Oh yeah, woo! Debunking Big J Triple X was like so 5 years ago. Nobody gives a fuck about that shriveled dick incel who couldn't get a woman if he paid for one, mail order bride shipped, and had her hot glued, stapled, and sutured to his ass. Nobody, nobody cares about that loser. Not number one.
Okay.
When we talk about helping black boys out, giving them a chance, look, I've done that this year alone with Blurcon when I hired 19, 20, and 21-year-olds to work for me and did successfully. What has he done? All he does is try to kiss women's ass. All he is even more low budget than Mary Brown. And Mary Brown's just about as low budget with his ass. And we already know what he said on my channel when he said if he came into the house and saw his wife bent over for another man, he would just suck it up. So Big J is about as threatening to the manosphere as a fly to the Incredible Hulk. Nothing at all.
Okay. Okay. Well, I just thought that I should address it real quick, and
Oh
just
yeah, you always got to
let
address the
yeah,
dumbass.
and let you guys know that I'm on y'all side, man. With this, not just for the black manosphere, for black men in general who want to come up here and express ourselves and give our points of view and just give our perspective because I think that I believe that it's much needed and for chicken shits out here to come out like that, we need to be aware that this is the mentality that we are dealing with as black men. And it's a shame that a black man thinks that way. And then, you know what? I did look on his channel. He immediately tried to kiss Princella's ass for that shit.
Yeah, that's all he is. Is a Prince Seller one is another broken bitch. Is a broken bitch. Nobody cares. Like nobody wants to admit that you shouldn't have been messing with them men. Look, it's not my fault you've been around fucked up men. That's you. That's you. That's all you've been around was fucked up individuals because you're one. Fucked up individuals attract what? Even more fucked up individuals.
Hmm.
Oh, well, they raping all these kids. Okay, no, 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 no. Let's look at the stats. You're more likely to be killed or running away from a single mother home. Most of your fucking social issues are from homes like that. So where the fuck do we get all this sexual exploitation from? I've said it once and I'll say it again. It's a lot of people's moms who put a price tag on their pussy long before a dude.
Yeah,
Long before a dude.
she was spewing all this stuff, wasn't she? And I mean, like, it got to the point where even Sister George started going off on her.
Yeah, because everybody be looking like, wait a minute, bitch, you sound crazy. Well, I was doing this, and I had to every time I had to fight. Like, okay, Sealy, take your ass down because you make no sense.
Yeah,
I'm
and
scared that this shit is gonna give bitches like her more coverage.
yeah, it is. I mean, like, but it's a but see, Faulkner, uh, they're trying to blame us for that since a couple of us did. I saw that Ed did a review on it. Mr. Fantastic did a review on it. There's a couple of content creators, and even the Breakdown did their own review on their content, and they're like, "Oh man, the Manosphere, oh they're gonna make another one popular." I was like, "We don't have any control over that. The hack is that if you espouse hatred for black men, you are going to get a following. Period."
Mm-hmm. That tells you how evil a lot of these bitches are. You gotta hate black men for us to be popular. Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
What's up,
You
gentlemen?
hate another no talent hack. What's up, man?
What's up? What's up, Snow?
Hey,
How's
what's
it
going
going?
on? What's going on, Kev? I don't think, Kev, I don't think you know the news. I've been cancer free since February 15th.
Cancer free since February 15th. Awesome. Great. That's a great thing, man. We
Yeah,
both share that in common. We're cancer survivors.
damn right. Cancer winners. Fuck
Ca-
survivors. Cancer
Cancer
winners.
winners. Yeah, absolutely.
Because we're on this side and not on the other side where people told us to go.
Yeah. Yeah,
As far
absolutely.
as far as this interview goes, I swear Sister George was gonna reach through the computer and grab Princella by her fake ass hair and rip it out piece by fucking piece.
Mm.
That bitch looked like she had a fitted cat weave.
Yeah.
That's an understatement. That is an understatement. Now, dare I ask who wrote this caption about black male worship? Dare I ask who wrote that?
Oh yeah, that's that joke. Big J, little J, triple can't get a woman X.
He's talking
One of the
about
original.
he's talking about
Thanks,
the I
everybody.
mean they make their own titles, but
True.
that's a sentiment that
Mm-hmm.
Princella expresses.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Kev, I have a favor to ask. Is it okay with you, since this is your panel and I don't want to intrude, is it okay if I put my Cash App in the chat? Because I'm not a mod yet and I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So I always ask first.
Go ahead. Do what you gotta do, man.
Hey, thank you.
All right.
But this, AB did a review on this on Saturday, and I was like playing all kinds of sounds for it.
This shit is like some of the shit she says. I'm just like, oh god, oh god. It's amazing why some people still get these heebie-jeebies and these likes for this bullshit. I'm thinking to myself, like, not one time somebody says, well, why are you messing with dudes like this? You ever notice how in love black women are with struggle?
Man, you know what? I saw it with my own sister. I saw it with my own sister. And Charles, that's a hell of a question, especially to guys who lived it. I saw it with my own sister and her son. And then my mother made a comment that kind of threw me for a loop some years back. God rest my mother. But when she said to me, I would love for Remington, that's my nephew, to have a positive influence on his life. And she's looking dead at me when she said, but I don't think you would be that.
Jesus.
I mean, After my dad died, my mother and my sister took every pot shot at me possible because I didn't take the full college route to get to where I am, which is 25 plus years in the broadcast biz. And I bet you the big reason, and Nicole will never admit this to me, that's my sister. Nicole will never admit this to me, but the reason I think they took those pot shots at me is because I'm not working for a major network, instead trying to build one.
Yeah. I mean, you're not useful until a black woman can use you. Remember that. It's just what it is.
Oh,
You're
oh,
not.
you know the story of when they tried to get me for Bulls tickets, do you not? Or did I tell you that one?
You didn't tell me that.
You can go and share it right now, sir.
Man, 2011, I was covering the Bulls. I covered the Bulls for 3 years. We had a high school game to do at the United Center. And then my friend Mark surprised me and said, "Do you want to cover the Bulls game?" Hell yeah, I'll take that. So we got our press passes. We got our press passes first for the high school game, and then for the main game. And I met Chuck Swirsky that night, the radio voice of the Bulls. You know, my sister and my mother found that out, and then about a few days later, when I had another game to do, my sister comes up to me and says, "Get me tickets for a Bulls game against Miami." What?
Like you're Ticketmaster or some shit.
I'm like, get you and Remington Bulls tickets? How? And she goes, "You got connections with the Bulls. You can get me tickets." Fuck a whole lot of you. I'm not ruining my connection with the Bulls for you. When I said that to her, she immediately went and cackled to my mother. And my mother comes in my room and she says, "You know you can score Bulls tickets for your sister." Mom, I couldn't even score Bulls tickets for you. And I saw Michael Jordan play in person several times. So my mother goes off. Why can't you get tickets for your sister? Probably because I'm a member of working media, perhaps. And that would be against their rules. They didn't like that logical answer.
You did look through it, but keyword logic.
Nah, you ain't shit for that.
But he's true. But he's absolutely true. And I think this is Turl. Yes, the nephew needed a good influence aside from his own father, but his uncle wasn't good enough. Where was the dad? In answer to your question, Turl, out of the picture.
Damn. Hey, let me read this super chat real quick.
Okay.
Weather, thank you for your support once again, sir. I really appreciate it. Says Big J is wrong. It's not black men worship, it's pandering. But really, this society panders to black men and black women. Black men and black women miss the point because their guns are trained on each other. It's bigger than a gender war.
Mm.
Well, hey, hold on. To that point, Weather, as I was going to point out here, like I've said on several times before, and shout out to Mr. Z for pointing this out here. What happens is that essentially, far leftists, tradcons, and neoliberals have basically destroyed the environment of for like marriage and upward mobility for most young men. But rather than admitting it, they want to keep throwing out these bullshit smoke screens of like identity politics, intersectionality, respectability politics, hustle culture, this entrepreneurship porn. All of this is just a roundabout way of just avoiding admitting the fact that they pretty much fuck things up for young men. That's the reason why you see like Christine Imba interviewing Chris Williamson and kind of talking around it like, oh, we don't know what happened with these young. No, it's we fucked over young men, or should I say, we use women as a tool of class warfare against working class men, and we thought that we could take the incentives off the table when it comes to like marriage and like work and stuff like that, and thought that it wasn't going to negatively affect society.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the problem that they're running into. And they also don't want to admit the fact that they did it first of all with so-called black men in America. I mean, literally, I mean, if you look at all the stuff that's been coming out here, this has been a multi-generational, multifaceted conspiracy to keep us as basically the permanent underclass in American society. So, like,
To-
that's why people just don't want to actually talk about it directly. They want to keep trying to hint at it and talk around it. And well, we need to have these long-winded discussions where we never really get to the point. Rather, than spaces like this where they just get directly to the point. Listen,
Yep.
you fucked over these guys, starting with so-called. You fucked over young men, especially young so-called black men, and you just don't want to admit it because it would destroy your prestige and credibility, and there would have to be some arguments for basically restitution. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Turi, I got a story and a half for you. An absentee parent, which was my nephew's father, which Nicole kicked out of the house, by the way. They both had drinking problems, and yet only she was the one that, people volunteered to get help for. That's part one. Part two, I was so willing to take on my nephew and show him what I've learned. Which leads to this. One day in 2004, I was an umpire. I had to be at a baseball field for a doubleheader by 10 a.m. My sister, my mother, and my father were all out of the house. And I was told by Nicole, my sister, that she'd be back before 9:30 because I didn't have a car at the time, so I can hustle to the ball field and make my game. In 3 words, gentlemen, guess what happened?
Fuck your feelings.
Do you know I lost $200 that day?
Wow.
I lost $200 because my sister couldn't tell time. I lost two games, $100 a piece. I lost $200. I had to call my boss and tell him what happened. Fortunately, that week he still paid me, like later on in the week, for those games. But that Saturday, I had plans of, going out, maybe getting away for the night. Couldn't do it.
Well, that's bad business, man, because family will fuck you like nobody else.
Man, ain't that the truth? I got so many stories about my nephew and my daughter, my baby girl, Donna, that I lost to natural causes in 2015. When my daughter was, Charles knows this story. I will tell it here to the rest of the panel, and I'll tell it to the folks in the chat who don't know it. I welcomed a daughter, Donna, March 6, 2013. I called everybody but my mother. My mother was the last person I called. Everybody else that I called that day, and I called about 30 people, told me and Liz, the woman who I was seeing at the time, congratulations. You know what my mother said to me? And this is a direct quote. Are you going to be there for her?
Wow.
Yeah. Destroyed me. And I couldn't call Pops because Pops was 6 years gone. Yeah, my mother blatantly said to me, are you going to be there for her? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Some faith you got.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like, why do they believe that black men can't take care of their own damn kids? It's just despicable, man.
It's just because I think a lot of it is undercover projection.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, well, black women project so much, the shit ought to be an IMAX.
Oh, it gets better. This story gets even better, if you want to call it that. Liz's family tried to cut us off at the roots. Her sister admitted to me, I wanted to cut this relationship off by the knees. And I looked at her sister in the eye and I said, who the fuck are you to make that decision? See, what her family didn't like, and before we split for good, Liz later admitted this to me. They didn't like when someone stood up for her. Damn the torpedoes full speed ahead. Only one of her uncles yanked me aside and said, "What are your intentions toward my niece?" I'm putting a ring on it. What do you think? You've been around us. You see how we interact. I'm putting a ring on it. She gave me a child. I'm going to give her my last name. He was overruled. And by the end of March 2013, so was I. I had nowhere to go, and I had to go back to my mom's house. 3 weeks after I welcomed the daughter and made plans to move my base from Chicago to Indianapolis. As it's been said in these YouTube circuits, make that make sense.
It won't. I mean, black man called the Big J 000. You know, motherfucker busted nuts in his fucking between his mattress and box spring. You can't talk loud. I mean, you didn't know? I mean, that's shit. That nigga so nasty his blow up dog got an restraining order. I mean, it's sad because a black man could do no better. He could do nothing. And what we find out is this: that black men are supposed to be the whooping boys for every fucking failure that a black woman has.
Yep. Here's the curveball. You know who kept saying I should get a DNA test? It wasn't Liz. Guess who were the two women?
Mama. Ooh.
My mother and my sister. The two women who kept saying I should get a DNA test because Donna wasn't mine. For a while, my sister changed her tune. I didn't need to get a DNA test. I knew Donna was mine.
See, here, you gotta remember that there's a lot of evil shit that goes on in the hearts of black women.
Ain't that the truth?
And people say you're projecting this evilness against black women. Nah, this is what the fuck we've been raised with.
This is what the fuck we've been thrown. This is what the fuck we've had thrown at us. And another kicker. I relied, and I told Charles this. I told Charles this on the first live broadcast we ever did together 7 years ago. My dad gave me a simple choice. Get out, get the hell out, or take the best option of all, get the fuck out. When he told me that way back in 1990, I didn't know what he was talking about until I went away to college. When I went away to Northeast Missouri State, everything crystallized. And here I welcome a daughter. I lose her 2 years later. And in the midst of a very abusive relationship, the woman that I was with said, and this is, again, a direct quote, "I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk business." And this is after I used 3 hours of my day to hide from this bitch.
Damn. You lost your kid?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man.
I lost Donna.
Sorry to hear that, man. No one should ever experience something like that.
Yeah.
And just the fact that you've been able to move on, that shows your character. And I just want to tell you that. So very, very sad, but you know, you're still here, so
yeah. Listen, when I lost Donna, I nearly snapped. When I lost Donna, this is something no man should go through. I don't care the color. No man should go through being in an abusive relationship and then finding out that in the midst of that abusive relationship that a child you had with a previous woman that you were going to marry dies. I got gut punched both ways that day in November 2015. I got gut punched both ways. And I have to tell y'all, when I found that out, I nearly snapped. Yeah, Turi, you're right. That's exactly what happened. I used 3 hours of that day to hide from the bitch that I was seeing because I didn't want to have anything to do with her anymore. I was just so messed up at the time in the head, I didn't stand up and say, "Get the fuck away from me."
You hear these stories. You hear these stories coming from black men, and although we over here have the utmost empathy for you, there
Mm-hmm.
are some out there and local to this space that think you shouldn't share these stories, and somehow all of this is your fault.
And
And
I've been
this,
told as such.
yeah, and this is what I'm talking about that infuriates me so much. And this is why the black man's voice needs to strengthen. You know, it
Mm-hmm.
does. We don't need to pull back. We need to strengthen. We need to push forward even more because because we didn't have a voice before. People, especially these bitches, are allowed to be out of control the way they are, and
You know,
that shit has to stop.
you
And
know what else we didn't. You know what else we didn't have before besides a voice,
yes,
a choice.
voice.
Until I would honestly say 3 years ago, and this is from my eyes. This is from my eyes. Until 3 years ago, we didn't have a voice, nor did we have a choice. There were scattered black men who made one, myself included, but from an entire collective, we didn't have a choice either until now.
And here's the fucked up part about it. It's like you'll get a lot of these chicks out there who will think you only mess up with this girl because she's white, because she's African, because she's Caribbean. No, it's a lot bigger than that. Men deal with women who respect them. What's wrong with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, but let me read this super chat. I had it up here for a minute. LAPD SWAT 1, thank you for your support of this channel. I really, really appreciate it. He said the problem began when the first ship showed up off the shores of West Africa, 1441 AD.
Very true.
That's
Yeah,
Very true.
that's the
I
very
mean,
start of it. That's
I mean,
the
you got
you Charles said it best just a moment ago. You hear all these stories and we're supposed to be quiet about it. There's Charles gave me a suggestion for a Snowman Unfiltered episode. I've yet to do it. I haven't taken the time to do it because so much going on here with my wife and my daughter. The title that Charles gave me, Can a Black Man Have a Bad Day?
we already know the answer to that.
we can't have
I
a
mean,
bad day. We can't even have a bad minute. It's always suck it up and drive on, Buttercup. Think about it. How many
mhm.
people had compassion for you when you lost your daughter? You would think. You would think. Fuck me. At least give me some reprieve about my damn daughter.
You know the
Man,
only people the only people when they found out, the only people that gave me some kind of reprieve when I lost my daughter were the folks at Marquette Catholic High School, because they knew how much Donna meant to me and how much I was grinding and struggling to make a home so I can go get my baby girl.
man, let me tell you something, man. My daughter, who just
Mm-hmm.
started third grade this past week, man,
Mm.
she's my heart, man. She presents every reason why I should continue this existence,
Yep.
and I could not imagine losing her, like not at all, you know. So it's like I'm hearing this story, and I'm just like I'm blown away because it's like, you know, And also I consider myself a very lucky man. Is just that damn. I just cannot imagine something like that. Just
Donna was 2 when she passed away. She was 2.
2 years old. Wow.
There is a hole in my heart that will never be. The closest that it's being filled right now is with my grandchildren. And I've met my grandchildren through my marriage to my wonderful wife Jody. Now I got to tell y'all something. Charles said, "Let it out." I'm gonna let it out. Had it not been for Jody, on 2 occasions, I wouldn't be here. The second occasion, my daughter heavily was involved, and that's when I took a fall in the kitchen and had blood clots in both my lungs. That's the first time I was just going to give up. And then I met Jody. We met online, and we were emailing back and forth and texting back and forth and everything. And then one day, September 1st, 2018, I decided I'm going to call her. But I was in the middle of a game, but I didn't want to wait to hear her voice. So I called Jody. I opened the phone. I put it in my ear, in my headset. And when I heard her giggle after she heard me do a play-by-play sequence, I was a goner. Dr. K saved my fucking life. Period. Because I was going to walk off that cliff and not come back. I haven't had any success in my broadcasting in a few years. I dealt with an abusive relationship and nobody gave a damn. I dealt with losing my daughter and nobody in my family gave a shit. Nobody. I had to face losing my daughter for 18 months alone.
Very strong brother. Very strong. And don't underestimate that. Don't underestimate that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Especially with all the stuff you've been through, Snowman. Like, yeah, man. I mean, yeah. Normally that's the type of stuff that would break a man, and the fact that you're still here, man, it's like, wow. So, but yeah, man. But that's why, again, that's the part that people don't want to talk about. I mean, you have
No.
stories like this happen all the time. But they try to say, "Oh,
Men
it's crazy."
go through so much, and it drives them to the point of suicide. And I'm about to cry. Hardly anybody cares. I've seen it happen in Chicago so many times.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a damn.
Yeah.
Nobody ever gives a damn.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a damn because everybody's worried about what have you done for them lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. It's like you got jackasses like Big J, who it is funny. The biggest detractors from the space are other black men trying to suck ass to black women who know they've done people wrong.
Yeah.
People like Priscilla will never ever face the consequences of what the fuck she's done to people.
Ever.
But then she wants to make a fucking buck. Oh, for what? Lies.
Yeah.
Half
lies.
truths.
I mean, just when I saw this video, and there's more to this testimony, but I'll comment on this video. When I saw this video, I kept getting angrier and angrier and angrier. Okay, because of how she was putting down black men. And I had the thought, I'd like to face her and tell her my story, but I wouldn't get a word in edgewise.
She wouldn't care. You know why? Because
she wouldn't care.
She's like Cruella de Vil, except no puppies.
Mm-hmm.
She hunts like raccoon ass.
Yeah.
As you can see what she put in her hair.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm surprised it still stayed in her hair, for God's sakes.
So you already know what it's like to deal with somebody so disingenuous, so evil.
I lived with him. Shit, lived with 2 of them, and they were my relatives. Family ain't built by blood anymore.
Oh, you know the old saying, God gave you family, thank God you can pick your friends. So.
Mm-hmm. But when I heard Jody, When I heard Jody's voice and we started talking, I was a goner. I knew I was. And I'm gonna share this story. When Jody and I moved to North Carolina, because I thought I had a broadcast opportunity there. Do you know the side eyes Jody and I get? You know how many side eyes we got when we moved into our house?
And
in
that's
our
just from
neighborhood?
being an interracial couple.
Yes, that's exactly it. They see me smiling and joking around. They see her smiling and joking around with me, and they look at us like we committed a serious crime.
Like, this nigga caused high treason.
Right? They'd be like, they they'll come up like, he's unworthy, like that type of thing. It's just like, it's crazy. But yeah,
Yep.
man. What was I about to say? You know, when listening to stories like yours, Snowman, guys, like like stuff you talk about, Charles. I think the is a Nazarene, and shout out to him. He made a good point. The problem with a lot of this alpha your way through it talk and whatnot is that it boils down to this idea that if you're a quote unquote good man, then you should do it for free. You know, it's kind of like saying if you had a air quotes real work ethic, you would work for free. You wouldn't ask for a paycheck. I'm like, and what they have a problem with is the fact that guys in the space are encouraging guys to basically say, yeah, if you're gonna be a good man that's gonna make all these sacrifices, make these niggas pay. Make them pay, or tell them to fuck off and go without, man. Like, you're not about to get shit out of me for free. You're not about to pay me an exposure, Like,
Mm-hmm.
no. Respect, reciprocation, money, or like adequate sexual gratification. If you can't provide
Money?
any of those incentives,
And I
Money?
got listen.
You
I got
niggas need money? Wait
and
a
I
minute.
and I
A
got everything.
nigga need money? Hold up. Money? Nigga need what? Are you sick? Money? Nigga, you better eat this pussy. You need food. nigga, they like, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
They looking at you like, nigga.
The day Jody and I met in person, September of 2018. It'll be our 5-year anniversary from the day that we met in September next month. Do you know the first thing? Listen, what Charles was just talking about a moment ago, how a black woman reacts when they meet somebody for the first time. You know, the first thing Jody did to me was give me a hug, and I cried. I cried. Something Charles says a lot, and it's so true. The first thing a man should demand from a woman is respect. I didn't have to demand it from Jody. Jody gave that to me freely from the day we met. And Cortez, SYSBM saved my life. 2018, it saved my life. I jumped in it, I lived in it, and then I met Jody. I couldn't be happier.
Yep. So, yeah, and like you said, and it definitely, man. Like you said, man. Like you said, man, you've been through a lot, man. So, it's definitely good that you're sharing the story out, man, because that's not the type of stuff you want to keep bottled up inside, man. Like, I think a lot of people confuse stoicism with like emotional suppression, and that's
Mhm.
not what it's supposed to be. Like, I think we need to move away from this idea of emotional suppression. It should just be more like emotional control. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I mean, hell, even if you look at guys like world class athletes show freaking emotion. I mean,
Yeah, they
when
do.
freaking Aaron Donald make that
Won the
game winning pressure in
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl 56, he wasn't served to talk about some. Oh yes, I made the game winning tackle. No, he
No,
was
he
hopping up
was.
and down, talking about, yeah, where's my ring, like all that
Mm-hmm.
type of shit. It was crying and stuff like that. Like, no, it's just like
I mean,
if
when
they can
you
show the range of emotions,
when you
Why the hell
finally
you?
reach
Yeah.
when you finally reach that mountaintop, it could be in sports, it could be in literature, it could be with me doing sports talk, with me kicking cancer in the ass. Man, February 15th of this year, when we were in my cancer doctor's office, Jody said to me, we're going to ask him to keep April 4th open. That was the day I had my surgery last year, April 4th of 22, when I had my cancer surgery. We're going to ask him how close we are to you being in remission and for an update on April 4th. I said, all right, I can live with that, because we were getting close to the anniversary date. We walked in there. Dr. Roganoff, bless his heart, was so happy to see us. And he read my blood test results, and I was shaking. I have to be honest with y'all. I was shaking because I knew what Jody was going to ask. So Jody brings up the question. She says the anniversary date is April 4th. When do we need to get another test and wait for that to find out if he's in remission? His next 4 words sent me dancing when Dr. Roganoff said, the remission has begun. He said, the remission has begun. God damn, if I didn't jump up and down in the office like I was Aaron Donald, like I was Joe Montana, like I was Ray Lewis, all rolled up into one. I was so happy when he said that.
Yeah, that is a reason to celebrate, knowing that you have another chance.
Mm-hmm.
And as you had to climb up out of an abyss to get to that point, and like
Mm-hmm.
I said, that shows your strength and resolve as a man.
I think I came on one of your panels, Kev, when I was in the hospital. I think I did.
Wow. I wish I could remember what.
I'm trying to remember which one myself, but I know I came onto a lot of panels while I was in the hospital while I was in the hospital. But to go from November 29th to 21 with my wife and I being told that Jody should get her affairs in order, that the tumor was inoperable, to coming up here to Indiana, meeting our oncologist, he said, let me make a phone call to my mentor, Dr. Attila Naquib, and I will forever say his name. To go from that to being 51, no cancer, and having a chance to be with my family, man, and having a chance to hang with y'all and do my show 5 days a week and get back into the booth. And here's the biggest news. I have a chance to call a game at Soldier Field on September 2nd, the Chicago HBCU Classic. They gave me the word. They gave me the word, Charles. I'm going to be in Soldier Field on September 2nd.
Hey, that's what's up, man.
The group said, bring it on. And it may even parlay into a Southwestern Athletic Conference game of the week. All from a situation when I wasn't even supposed to be here. Duke University Cancer Center, and I'm seriously thinking about sticking a lawsuit up their ass, told my wife to get her affairs in order. We went from that and having no hope. I mean, hell, my wife told me, you're going to hate this idea, but we have to move back to Indiana because they're giving us no hope here. Now here I am, both Jody and I, age 51. Yeah, we're dealing with stuff here, but the point is, we're dealing with it. And aside of seeing my daughter born, and aside of the day I got married, having the doctor tell me that I'm in remission, it's the happiest day of my life because I got a second chance. We have a second chance. And this is not a victory just for me. This is for everybody on this panel, everybody in the chat. It's especially a victory for Jody because let me ask a very true question. And I've asked this before. How many black women would have stood by their man going through the ordeals that old snowman went through?
I don't have an answer for you because based on what you told me about your family, it's a very tough question to answer. Um,
But
hopefully, if I have to go through anything like that ever again in my life, I have faith that see, the thing is with me and my wife is that
Mhm.
we have strong family behind us.
Good.
We know what a family
Good.
is. And we get together and we enjoy ourselves whether we agree or disagree.
Mhm.
They have this level of compassion that I've always looked for in people, and
Yeah.
is a thing to be blessed to have. But it's just
Um,
what this is what he just got through describing. What Mr. Snow has got through describing is what many black men go through, and we're met with a level of apathy that is so unreal you
mhm.
almost lose faith in people altogether. But
Yeah. Yeah.
thank God, he had someone to help pick him up. And the sad part about it is like we we can't rely on our own kind. Many of these situations,
Mhm.
it's met with a lack of compassion.
It is.
It's
It
met with
is.
a we don't give a fuck, and it for me when I see stuff like that, it fills me with rage. It really
Same.
does.
Same.
It fills me with rage, and you know it I I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like I've lost most of my faith in people at this point,
Mhm.
and hearing your testimony is like, wow. It's like
Hey,
it's
like I said, man, Jody rode to the rescue. And then the day I fell in my kitchen in North Carolina, Sonya rode to the rescue, and Jody wasn't far behind. They flew in, man. Sonya came flying in from her room. Called 911. This is June 5th of 21. Man, I mean, Sonya came flying in. I was so I should have died that morning. Sonya called 911, told them what was going on. Jody came flying in by my side, getting me conscious again. And then they got me to the hospital and they immediately airlifted me to Duke University from Henderson, North Carolina. Cortez says, but black folks say, them white women's going to get you. Yeah, Jody got me in all kinds of supportive ways. Do me a favor. I put my Cash App in the chat, you guys. If y'all can help a snowman help his family in any way possible, Any donation would. I'll put it up again. Any donation will help, because now that I'm through cancer, and I'll put my tag up here. Now that I'm through cancer, I'm in another fight, and that's helping to support my family. Because, and I know this infuriates Charles, because he's in a fight of his own. Do y'all know the state of Indiana declared me disabled, but they will not give me any money? What you all see on the screen now is my my cash app. But
I still can't believe that. Like, what did the lawyer say? You got to get a lawyer and see what the hell they could fight that shit.
you know what I will answer, Charles. I will answer your question. I've called 5 different lawyers.
Some car tissues repair themselves more than others.
And
For example,
they all said the same thing. The reason I got denied and they won't take my case is because of a technicality. All 5 lawyers I called said the same thing. So
that's some bullshit.
So now I'm applying through FSSA for Medicaid. So that's the next thing. But y'all, I want to do some door dashing tomorrow so I can bring in some money for my family. But I need some gas money and some lunch money to do it. That's why I put my cash app in the chat. I want to help my family. I want to help my family so bad.
Hey, I just dropped you something, man.
I appreciate it.
So, yep.
I appreciate
and then I definitely mentioned because I actually do insurance in Ohio. I like Medicare insurance. Definitely make sure definitely look for a plan in your area. Because if you're on both Medicare and Medicaid, definitely look for a benefits option here that can offer you like a like some type of food card benefit. You know what I mean? Because I know that here in Ohio, there's a lot of benefits plans that offer that. But I don't know about the plans in Indiana. But yeah, definitely look for a Medicare, Medicaid, like what they call a dual special needs plan that offers you like a food card benefit. Try to look for like the highest possible amount you can get, and that should be able to help you out somewhat there, in regards to like the food and stuff. So,
well, Charles had asked me how I felt with all this going on, and he also asked me to let it out on a Snowman Unfiltered. I've yet to do that, but I will. Here, I'll give a preview of it here. How do I feel, Charles? Like I've been in a tennis match, volleyed back and forth. 1 minute I feel good because I can possibly get some help, and then the next minute this happens. I can't get any kind of help or benefits whatsoever. And the excuse they'll throw at me is because my wife makes too much money. So I'm going to get Medicaid I'm going to go through FSSA and apply for Indiana Medicaid and be done with it. But I'm going to try my best to stick a lawsuit up Duke Cancer Center's ass. But it's not fair how black men are being treated lately. The ones that work hard, the ones that want to support their family but can't, the ones that actually give a damn about their family but are grouped into a pile of men that don't, and they say we all don't, which is a lie. The men that have fought cancer, unfortunately, lost their life. And then there are some like me and Kev and others that fought cancer and won and still can't get a goddamn thing. It ain't fair. Damn it. How black men are being treated in 2023. And this has gone on for longer than I've been alive. They think we all stink and they won't get to know us on a case by case, person by person, one-on-one basis because they're too chicken shit to do it. And like I said, my opinion only from these four eyes. But I know what I've been through. And it ain't fun. It ain't fun to be accused. No, it's not fun when you're enjoying your job as a broadcaster to have some asshole call in to the IHSAA and lay an accusation that ends your association with the school, like inappropriately touching two female students.
Whoa, what happened? What happened? What's
2016, I had a person call the IHSAA and tell them I was inappropriately touching two female students at Marquette Catholic. And this was the night before. No, I got the message the night of the second round of the IHSAA state playoffs.
so what exactly happened? What exactly did you do to beat this accusation, or did you beat it?
I couldn't. I was suspended and later let go. Here's the kicker. Every student in that school, every parent that supported my broadcast said I didn't do it. If nothing, if anything, it should have cost me only a 1-game suspension. It cost me the remainder of my season.
Wow.
I was so mad. Thankfully, the kids knew I was innocent. Most of the parents there knew I was innocent, but the athletic director was outnumbered. They wanted to get me out of there because I actually had a bond with people that didn't involve screwing them over.
Yeah, those are powerful accusations, and people would much rather not deal with the person rather than to do a positive. I mean, rather than to do a thorough investigation. I mean,
Brother man, when did you say that this occurred?
2016, March of 2016.
So you don't even have action to go at them and sue. You don't even have action to go at the person that made that accusation and sue.
Oh, I knew the motherfucker who did it. I was just in a time where I was in dire financial straits. I know the motherfucker who did it. And if y'all want to look him up, his name is Delbert Eugene Yates Jr. That's the motherfucker who laid the accusation
Deborah.
on Del.
Oh, Del, okay.
That's the four-eyed ball son of a bitch who did it. And yes, I'm cussing and I'm letting my feelings out. Because he was too chicken shit to come to me and say, hey, are you going to pay me my money? Or when can you pay me my money? Because I owed him money at the time, but I couldn't pay it because I had rent to pay and I had bills to pay. Mind you, he only got me one goddamn sponsor while we worked together. One. The rest I got on my own. So to survive that is huge. Surviving the loss of my daughter is huge. Surviving being physically, mentally, and emotionally abused in a relationship is huge. And yes, all 6'5" of me was physically abused in a relationship in LaPorte, Indiana. I went to the LaPorte police and they didn't believe me.
Ain't that about a bitch?
I did, man. I went to the LaPorte Police Department and they basically laughed in my fucking face. And you know the retort that I got, and y'all know what's coming. Why couldn't you handle it?
Yeah, we get blamed for shit that we don't even see coming,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like there's this extreme lack of empathy for it. So I
Mm-hmm.
know what I do on this channel. I preach the whole they don't care about you. That's why you have to stand 10 toes down at all times. But
Yep.
it's the thing is that I understand also that everyone isn't me, and there are different situations that you have to give them close examination. And it was
Yeah.
like you saying, is like try to get to know people on a case by case,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not what people are doing right now. Is they're trying to box us all in?
Yeah, they are.
All we're doing is complaining, whining. We
Mm-hmm.
we go through some very real shit. We go through some very real shit.
We,
We're human, just like all these other people out here.
and yet we're not allowed to express our emotions, even though we are human. On a large basis, 99.9% of the time, we're not allowed to express our emotions. And the one time that we do bust out and do express our emotions, it's so volatile because of so much we've had to hold in, because of so much, how much we've had to suppress. And Prime VA just said it. If you handle it, then you go to jail.
Oh yeah.
I don't look good in orange at 6'5". I just walked out of the police station and hung my head. I didn't sleep that night because I went to a gas station and laid my hands on the biggest Pepsi that I could lay my hands on. I got in my car. I drove from LaPorte to Gary and left it at that. Fortunately, the folks at Door Village United Methodist Church found me a place where I could go. Here's the kicker about what I went through in that abusive relationship. I signed the paperwork for the apartment. I signed the paperwork for the bills. The bitch acted big and bad and threw me out. With the threat of, quote, come get your stuff out of my apartment or I'll call the police. I was so screwed up at the time, I didn't know how to combat that. I was mentally screwed up. I did, man. I was, man. I was so mentally screwed up, I didn't know what to do. When she put my stuff in my trunk, she came to my driver's side window and said, I hope you know why I'm doing this. Do you know what it took for me to resist to reach out and punch her one?
I'm sure it took a lot. I mean, there are some people that in my life that has pissed me off so bad, but I just knew that,
You
you,
take a swing, you're going to jail.
yeah, pretty much. So, I mean,
you
uh,
take a, you take
we,
a swing, you're going to jail.
yeah, because it's like no matter how mad we get, we got to control ourselves, and this is,
Mm-hmm.
and no one gives us the benefit of, of even venting a little bit. Just
Yeah.
horrible.
It's channels like this and like mine where I do get a chance to vent, where we get a chance to vent. If I don't tell y'all enough in the chat and here on the panel, Old Snowman appreciates you guys so much.
Oh, no problem. No problem at all. I mean, this.
And you allowing me to share my story means a lot. It does.
Oh yeah, yeah, awesome. I mean, it's no problem. Let me read this super chat that's been up
Okay.
on the screen for LAPD SWAT one says God saves his hardest battles for his strongest warriors. And what up, Colonel Faulkner? Uh, yeah, I'm sure Faulkner already saw that, but
Mhm.
thank you once again for your support. Uh, yeah, let me.
Cortez Smith said something that's so true. Meanwhile, she can hit you just because she feels like it, hence the abuse you went through. Ain't that the truth? Y'all don't know how much the end of 2015 I leaned on sports to get me through that.
Yeah, your passion was what kept you going. You say your passion, your wife, that all saved you.
It did. Because after 2015, I was like just going through the motions. For 3 years, I was just going through the motions. It got so bad in 2015. I tried to get away from this bitch and I went and hid in a hotel for 3 months. I called the athletic director at Marquette Catholic, and before I said anything, he said, I got a sponsor check here for you for about $1,200. When do you want to come get it? I said, I'll come get it right now. I'm flying up from South Bend and my tire goes flat. Fortunately, my buddy Steve was available. He raced in, changed my tire, and he said, Go get your money. I got it. I dropped it in the bank and I went and found a hotel up in Michigan City where that bitch wouldn't find me. Then I got the news about my daughter.
Wow.
Then I got the news about my daughter. I damn near quit. In all ways, I damn near quit. I damn near said, fuck it. I don't have my daughter. I don't have a reason to fight.
Well, I mean, you made it.
I
I
did.
mean, I know that. I know that. You still, like you said, it's still a hole in your heart, and but you're still here, and you have reasons to live for.
I got a lot of reasons to live for.
Yeah, yeah. The
Hey,
fact, the fact that you didn't give up makes you a winner. I want to
hmm
let you know that.
I don't think I'll be close to giving up again. Not with the family I got supporting me.
Yeah. All right. All right. Shout out to Louis Conyer. This is Sunday Smoke Shows. Shoot, I even had to change the title to this show. I mean, it was named one thing, but it turned into something else, man. So, I don't mind it when that happens, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Is
I I appreciate I appreciate you guys so much and letting me share my story.
no
It's
problem. No
it
problem
gets
at all.
some days it just gets tougher and tougher and tougher to share it without the without the backlash. The only people that haven't given me backlash is the family I have. Jody, Sonia, Dakota, my son, Cheyenne, my daughter, and Kaylee, my daughter, and my grandchildren, and Carmen and my grandchildren. That's it. That's it.
Uh Louis Conyer said what was the topic? Crime for these hoes. that was the topic.
That
But I changed it to a black man's burden because that's since Snowman started telling this story, it was just it turned it turned to a more serious tone. So I like to come up here. I like to laugh. I like to be somewhat entertaining. I like to answer the bullshit sometimes, but
Mhm.
sometimes there's certain things that are said by us black men that need to be heard. So just want to make sure that you know when people in the replay game watch this show, once they hear your testimony, they understand why the show's topic was what it. I mean, is what it is. You know why
Yeah.
the name was changed. So yeah, because smoke show means that there are people that are coming up here
Mm-hmm.
to tell me whatever problems they have with whatever content, if they want to give me some smoke. But
Yeah. Yeah.
here's the thing about I've been doing this for like I don't know, maybe 10 weeks now,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't get people who really have a problem with me. I don't know if I'm just that great a guy or what. you know, but it is what it is. I don't shun the support at all.
Right.
I don't
Right.
shun the camaraderie at all. So I mean, this show is becoming a very important staple. Is
Mm-hmm.
for men to come up here and express themselves. I mean, the broadcast in general.
Yeah.
That was my intention for the Facebook group, for
Mm-hmm.
a place for black men to have to express themselves. But it's so bad when you have people that are in these spaces that are, I mean, I believe this is an expression more so than a evil conspiracy theory government plan.
Right.
You have people who are these agents of chaos,
Ain't that the truth?
and
Ain't that, ain't that
yeah,
the and the black and the good black men are the targets.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I experienced it in my Facebook group.
Yep.
We experienced it in these spaces here,
Mm-hmm.
and what I was showing earlier was the same person that we were referring to, this Princella chick.
Yep.
She was also in the Facebook group, but she
Oh, she
was
was in the Facebook group? Good
yeah sh-
Lord.
she was in the Facebook group. She was in
And
the
you
Facebook group at its height, like
Who was
when
she?
and you survived that, Kev. Kudos to you, man.
man
And you
man
survived that.
Who was
man.
she in the group, Kev?
Let me see. I'll send you a screenshot. I don't want to put her full. I mean, that's her.
Okay.
That's her. That's her. Let me see. Princella is her real first name, but
Okay.
yeah, she. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, she didn't. She didn't have like she wasn't as prominent as some of the other members, but
Mhm.
when I saw her name on Facebook, when a post of hers was going around, I typed it in the group search engine,
Yeah.
and there she was. There, there she was. I was like, man, like
Oh man.
how much evil did that group let out onto this world? Like, but I mean,
It's like a hole was cut out of that bubble and all the evil came out.
yeah, shoot. But let me see. Let me see if I can send Donnie this screenshot. I'm texting it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was AB, my buddy AB Media, who guest hosted the Coliseum Saturday night, talked about it, and I unleashed all kinds of sounds on it.
uh,
I
all right.
was cutting loose.
All right. We got Sun is Hot Raw. Thank you for the super chat. He says, I'm not superstitious, but I believe it's your daughter's angelic energy that's coursing through you that breathed new life into you. So stay strong, boy. Bro.
Yeah, I am. And I believe it's Donna's energy.
All right. So
Donna's energy coursing through me. I believe it. I believe it every day. D Scott, what's going on?
yeah, he's
I
got a
believe it
member of this channel.
every day.
What is what is up?
I believe it every day that it's Donna's energy, it's my dad's energy. Of course, it's the energy of my family keeping me going. And I know I got a good woman. When Jody looked me in the eye and said, I've achieved all I wanted to achieve. I want to see you chase your dreams.
Awesome. Yeah.
She looked me in the eye and said that.
All right.
But that to a man when he's told that from a woman, she wants you to chase your dreams, that means something to you. It means a lot to me.
Absolutely.
I
I mean,
mean,
when you
Oh,
have
she's a crazy bird. I got a chance to look at that. I don't remember her, but based on that screenshot, she's a crazy bird.
oh yeah, but yeah, I just sent you another screenshot, man. That's the screenshot where she was bragging about her husband. Now she on all kinds of bullshit around here.
oh
Like,
dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
I guess that marriage has dissolved since then.
I wonder who dissolved it.
Yeah, I got a clue as to yeah, yeah.
I wonder A, how it dissolved, or B, who dissolved it.
Yeah, but the chick like Donnie, the chick was on the breakdown this past week. I guess obviously she has a YouTube following, and her shit like is probably, if not bad, probably a little. She's probably Cynthia G type, but like
Oh
One of
Lord.
Cynthia G's children, black men ain't shit. The problem is black men don't build nothing. One of them.
black men, and
You ain't right, Pookie. I love you for that.
yeah, black. Yeah, I heard.
But he's telling the truth though. He's absolutely telling the truth.
Yeah, I mean they know what their lane is. They get up there, they say this shit. That half of them don't believe it. Hell, even the bald eagle don't even believe the shit she say. Case in point, her having a baby by who she had a baby by, right? So,
True.
as we discovered from the Facebook group, a lot of these chicks will get up there and say this shit with the intention of inducting other women into the sisterhood of failure. And the reality is that they are living in squalor. They are fucked up. They have a whole host of mental issues to where no man wants to be with them, but they have this impossible standard that no man is capable of meeting. And when they get to open the net, say what now?
You did not say sisterhood of failure.
Yeah, and you know they want to induct other women into the sisterhood of failure. They'll get up and preach this foolishness, and they don't believe the shit themselves, and they keep saying it and saying it and saying it as if they're trying to convince themselves of it. Oh, how dare he? That man, all he could do is bring a hot and ready pizza. Oh man, I couldn't deal with that. Knowing the nigga that they with can't afford even a goddamn hot and ready pizza, but you sitting over there feeding the nigga, right? So this is the dynamic that these women have in their real life, but they'll get online and they'll start espousing this foolishness in hopes that other women will follow suit. It's Derek Jackson for the women. Derek Jackson said all this shit about men. Oh man, you need to do this. The problem with men is this and that and the third. The whole time he over there dogging that bitch out left and right. Motherfuckers will get on social media and project this energy online that their life is this way, that they need other people to follow this because it's an impossible standard. It's a plausible standard. Really, it's impossible. And then when you start digging on who this motherfucker is, or the skeletons come out of their closet, you come to find out that this nigga is ratchet. Oh, okay. Get you up here. Black men ain't black. Yeah. Black men are the problem. Black men are this. Well, okay. Well, why did your marriage fail? Oh, so you was fucking a Pookie. He gave you a thrill. Your marriage dissolved because of that. Well, white men are better. I love white men. And you find out the white man is whooping your ass. Well, black men can't lead. Black men, they have all these babies and they can't take care of them. Then you find out that bitch just had a baby by a Pookie. Bitch, he had 4 kids prior to you. He didn't take care of none of them. What made you think that your 5th kid was going to make him step up? Well, I could change him. And then when it doesn't happen, black men are the problem. This is what social media does.
She flew to North Carolina. She did video. Listen, she did videos while she was like waiting in an airport.
No, in the Charlotte airport, showing her ass.
Listen, I remember this happening so vividly that she was doing videos. I think she did one leaving Seattle. She did one arriving in North Carolina, and she moved to North Carolina for a while, if memory serves me correct.
So the nigga was raw dogging the bitch, and the bitch the whole time is talking shit about black men.
On
Yes.
target.
So they doing it for other bitter bitches that know that their life is fucked up, but they want an excuse for it to the reason why their life is fucked up. It ain't your fault. It's not your fault, sister. Hey, girl, you did the best you could.
Pookie,
Your
I'm
head
not
is fucked
laughing
up.
at you. I'm laughing at all the phrases you're using because it's making me smile seeing the chickens come home to roost.
Yeah, well, it's pretty obvious that someone is probably touched by what we're saying because I got to play this video again.
Now I'm feeling objectified by your male gaze.
Damn.
Yeah.
Please play that again. Please play that again.
Play it again. Yeah,
Play
somebody.
it again, please.
Yeah, somebody gave me a dislike on this one. This is the third dislike.
Please.
Now I'm feeling objectified by your male gaze.
Damn.
Foolishness. It's becoming tragic.
I love it.
It's all becoming tragic. I think women have this idea that men are supposed to meet them halfway in every instance, and a lot of the times when you put yourself in a fucked up position, you want a man to come and meet you halfway, but you have all this baggage, and you got a wrecked car on the side of the road, and you want him to tow you. No, bitch, this is not 50-50. Yeah, this is not 50-50.
I got a sound for that. They want us to meet them halfway.
Yeah, the buzzer.
with their baggage, a wrecked car, no cell phone, and no way to call somebody, yet they expect you to meet them halfway.
Pure insanity.
Yeah,
wait a minute. Where's Stephen A? Where's Stephen A? My response is the following to all of that.
Stay off the weed.
Yeah, well, funny you should say that during a smoke show. Yeah, but yeah, we got Bad Hombre, we got Louis Conyer up here as well. So
hey, what's going on?
Yo, what's up, everybody?
What's up, Louis?
How's everything?
How you good brothers doing today?
We're doing good, man. Louis, how you been, man? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Been crazy at my job at the store.
I get it.
With the food shortages and everything. So,
I
was hoping I was on BGS's Patreon stream, but they was going heavy into geopolitics.
Yeah,
I wanted to bring up some of the stuff with the food shortages that's going on, but they're in one direction. I wasn't even going to interfere, fuck up their flow. So
right.
Are we talking about the Queen Maker? Was that the main topic?
Yep.
Well, I've been listening to her for like a month and a half. I've been digesting her videos, and no.
God bless
and
you.
I ordered
Gotta
both.
know your enemy.
I ordered both of her books, so
really,
I wanna dissect her rhetoric.
Okay.
But no. I mean, you just can't hate just to hate. You got to find out what their base of thought is about. But basically, all she is, I think she's Gen X, and her pimp game is real tight. You got to pop your collar to her. I'm serious. And most of her audience is these young girls. She's a Gen Xer. She's up on game. She admitted it that she had two pimps that were her mentors. She got that mixed with witchcraft. She's a self-confessed witch. She's into that dark mother bullshit. She mixed it with occultism, psychology, and pimp rhetoric with a little like BGSL, a little bit of Nation of Islam. If you listen to her cadence, she got like that preacher cadence, or if you listen to a lot of Farrakhan. videos. Like she got that type of cadence, and she's just her rhetoric is resonating with a bunch of these young girls. And I watched her shows for like a month and a half, and she's making bank off of those women. I can't hate the player. You got to hate the game.
Mr. Paul Allen.
Are you kidding me?
I'm breaking all this. You're right, Lewis. You can't hate.
And you know what? And the best thing is, honestly, don't even mention her name. Don't even bring her up. Don't even give her that much attention. If you know, if you're going to talk about her, like, don't even put her name in your titles or nothing.
Right.
Because what she's going off of, because she's been hitting the circuit lately, and all she want is motherfuckers to make hate videos with her name, so her name spreads through the algorithm.
Her name spread. Yep. So her names get through the algorithm.
A hare-hatted army is what she wants to raise. Okay, well, that makes sense.
Her goal. This is what her goal is. She said it. She said it on her podcast, but not on other people's.
Right.
She want to break up marriages.
Really?
She going off of the eugenics rhetoric that the planet is overpopulated with males, and the ideal society will be a majority of females, and you will have these subset of communities that's all females, and the men would be second.
The worker bees.
So
sorry, what?
That's her rhetoric. She's going off of that. Like, you got to study that dark mother feminist heavy feminine occultist witchcraft stuff. It's heavy on the feminine.
So it's basically the ideology of an antness, right? You have the mother, the queen mother, and then you have all of the worker males.
The female workers, but the men are drones.
But yeah, so essentially the dynamic is you put the men in a place to where they're the slaves. They do all the hard manual labor. They'll come in, they'll sleep with the women in order to repopulate them. But the one who has all of the power in the dynamic is the women. Women are the decision makers.
And Pookie, she said it. Men, their roles in life is to be slaves. She said that out of her mouth.
She said that.
Yes.
I heard it on YouTube. I didn't catch who said it. So she said that.
Let me find it. She did an interview like last month.
Okay.
And she said that shit. Hold on. Let me find it.
Yeah, she'll be around for a while.
Can you send that to me also, as well as play it here? Because now I want to digest and just formulate my retort.
Yeah, she was even on Sarnetta's channel.
Saying the same shit,
Oh, wow.
Her, Cynthia G, these type of women will be around for a while because there's always going to be these radical leaning females that need somebody to have direction from. And they're not going to get it from their circle, so they'll get it from somebody that they can follow, sit down and listen to and digest. And then they'll start running this bullshit into their life, and the sisterhood of failure will win once again.
True.
Yo, I put the link in your chat.
Okay.
It's the public chat because I'm using it from my phone. I'm on StreamYard on my computer, but I put it on because I got my computer and my cell phone.
Right.
So
that's what I got here. Look at Cortez. She's a troll. But
the problem is she has a lot of young girls that's feeding into that bullshit.
She's in all their ears. She's in
same.
all their ears and in their eyes too.
Yeah, the same thing they say about us. We're leading young men astray, which is also nothing but a projection.
That's all it is.
Yeah, so what comes to mind with this is once upon a time, I took a cousin of mine to Lisbon. And when we got to Lisbon, we ended up, I'll say this. I ended up bringing a girl to Lisbon. I was dating her. So I brought her on this trip with me and my cousin. It was originally for us too. And, I was going to knock her down. It was going to be cool. And on the way there, we met 2 black girls. One of them was gorgeous. So I ended up making the introductions, talking to him, trying to link him so I can link his girl up with my cousin. And in the time span of us being there for maybe about a day, she ended up being a staunch feminist, is what I found out. And she was a staunch feminist, and she was on a break, or she was leaving her fiance because her feminism basically got in the way of that relationship. The fiance was over it. So in the course of, I think, 24 hours, she had already infected the girl that I had brought down there with that feminist bullshit. So by the second day, she was on the page with this girl to where it was like, yeah, we're just as equal. We're this. Now keep in mind, when you go to places like Lisbon, we stayed in this area called Alfama, and it's an old area where you have to walk up hills. There's no elevator. It's not no flat roads. You're carrying suitcases. The girl I came with, she can't do this shit. I'm a man, so I'm gonna carry it up the hill for us. We got to go up 3 flights of stairs. I got to carry her suitcase up 3 flights of stairs. So all of this, and now she's telling me, we're the same. We're equal. We don't need no man, but I'm carrying all this shit for you. So by the end of this trip, I basically blown her off. Like, all right, bitch, you gonna follow her and you're equal with men. Show me you equal. You carry your fucking suitcase. So at the end of this trip, when it's all said and done, we gotta walk down these 3 flights of stairs. We gotta walk down this hill, and we gotta carry a suitcase. The bitch can't do it by herself.
Right.
So she's looking at me, and I'm looking back at her. I thought we was equal. I thought my cousin wanted to go do it. I don't do it. Let her be equal. And she had to come to the realization on the way to the airport to where she apologized. Yeah, you know what? There might be some differences. No, it's not no might. There are some differences.
There are some differences. Exactly.
But you're going to follow this chick who has obviously destroyed her relationship. Now it's fucked up me and you to where we can't be, because I see that you're easily influenced, right? So I say all that to say women have a gravitational pull when they're like this, because all of this sounds good to them. It sounds good when you're in a position to be equal with men, and you're able to do everything that men can. The reality is you're not. Women can do some things better than us, and we can do things better than women, but we're not equal. We're 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. So they will follow this dynamic to their detriment and put themselves in a position every chance they get, because they're always seeking another woman to follow. And if this woman can fill the void, yeah, she's gonna make a whole lot of money, and she's gonna fuck up a lot of the youth doing this shit, even some of the older women.
Yeah, that's
She'll
why
be around
she's
forever.
targeting these young women, and especially where I see a lot in this space right here, especially with the young gentlemen. This is why scholarship and self-introspective work is very important. You have a lot of these things that sound good in theory, but when it comes to practical application, it does not work. Like this. I read the Communist Manifesto. It sounds good in theory, but it does not work in practical real life application. And you get a lot of these young, naive people, both men and women. They haven't developed their scars and live life yet, and they hear all these grandiose rhetoric, and this is how they get caught down that rabbit hole, down a path of destruction, and they get too deep. And when they try to turn back, their life is already gone. So like, everybody get therapy, do a lot of self work on yourself. You know you got problems. You got to be the first rule. Look in the mirror
and admit you
know
problems.
what your faults are. Be honest with yourself and address them, and be the best person you can be. At the end of the day, you got to be honest with yourself. Once you're honest with yourself and you start doing that work, nothing's going to stop you.
That was the first thing Jody told me to do. That was like the only condition that she put on me, because at the time that Jody and I met, I was going through depression. She was going through depression. And she said, there's one thing you have to do for me. And I said, name it. She says, get into therapy. I will give you the name of a therapist. I want you to talk to him, even if it's only for a little while. I did. And it really helped. What's also really helped is like being here with you guys, being able to let some things out, share a laugh, talk about some things. All that's helped. More than you guys know, all that's helped.
And at the end of the day, everything that happens to you, it's your fault. You got to take accountability. At the end of the day, even if you may feel it's not your fault, as a man, take that shit on the chin. You know what?
Yep.
That's my fault. Learn from it. Because failures are the best tools.
Oh, yeah.
You learn from your fucking failures and your setbacks.
Well, one thing that Jordan Peterson always says, the darker the abyss, the brighter the light on the other side.
Yeah.
Yep. That is so true. Well, I'm going to go ahead and step out of the way because I know Jody's got to get up in a few hours and I got to make sure I see her off to work. And to the one who sent me the Cash App, I very much appreciate it. That'll give me a little fuel. That'll give me a cup of coffee. As soon as I sign out of my show and I cut my podcast and everything, I'm going door dashing. I'm going Uber eating for a few hours. But it's a boost. And I appreciate it.
Easy, brother.
All right. No problem. Thanks for the testimony. It meant a lot.
Hey, sure thank y'all for allowing me to share it. That meant a lot.
All right.
That meant a lot. I'll put my.
Hey, wait up. Hold up a second, Brian, before you leave.
Yeah, sir.
You know who this is?
I know who this is.
Snowman in the Morning is brought to you by Bum Leg Orthopedics.
Oh, my leg. Oh, my leg. Oh, my leg.
That joke never gets old.
No, it doesn't. Neither does the penis water ad either.
Oh, my back. Hey, but then again, don't forget the back brace because, you know, oh, my back. Oh, my back. Oh, my back.
Oh, my back.
Oh, wait. We got to do it with an Australian accent. Oh, my back. Oh, my back. Oh, my back. My back, mate. My back, mate. Shouts out to one Ben Simmons, because there will be some new Amber Alerts later on Snowman in the Morning, folks.
God, I can't wait. Let me get out of here. I'm gonna put my Cash App up in the chat one more time, and I will say goodnight. Thank you for allowing me to share my testimony. I truly appreciate you guys.
It's no problem, man. And you're welcome back to come. You're welcome to come back anytime.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right.
So what's been up, Kev?
Oh shoot, nothing too much, man. Just another smoke show Sunday. Yeah, we were discussing we were kind of discussing this right here in a little response to a poll I got, a poll I did on my channel. Let me see this poll right here. What do you guys believe is the anti-black manosphere's problem? Yeah, it was a satire. It was a satire, and then I got all this feedback from Big J Triple X, who tagged me on his community tab, and he made 8 points as to why he had problems with the black manosphere, and he said all this stuff. And I had responded to it. So, and then Snowman came up and gave his testimony, and the show got deep for a little while.
It will get deep, especially with Snowman. You know, he has a lot. He talks about a lot of stuff.
Is a gateway for fascism.
First of all, is this man even still relevant to the conversation? Because this man's been, because I remember back in the day, back when BGS had the Coliseum, and he's been there a couple of times, and once he was called out, called to step forward, and he never answered the call. He was challenged. But
the only problem I have with the manosphere, so-called black manosphere or manosphere, whatever you want to call it, is you have a lot of men here, males, whatever, that are perpetually stuck in red pill raging, and they're stuck in that constant cycle, and they're not doing the work, or I think they're not finding the resources or the material or the help to get them out of that rage. And that's why I said, for some people, they need to detox off of YouTube, look in that fucking mirror, and get to work.
Louis?
I mean, especially, I'm 47. I'm a Gen Xer. I came up at the end of the heroin bomb, the beginning of living in Newark, New Jersey, where you had the end of the fucking riots, you had the heroin epidemic, you had the crack bomb, the AIDS bomb, and the war on drugs and mass incarceration. When I was in my 20s, before I joined the Marine Corps, I was working 2 fucking jobs. If you're in your 20s, you should be fucking working. You shouldn't be thinking about bitches. Make that money, especially the way this economy is going. Get that education in a trade, a CDL, or whatever tool you could get, and look at where this environment is moving to. Pussy should be the last thing on your fucking mind right now, especially if you're in your 20s.
I will say this regarding the whole red pill racing. Understand that there are some people up in here who are disingenuous, and they are actually, what's the word I'm looking for? They've been able to, like, market the red pill rage in a way, and they keep people in that perpetual rage. Because, for their bottom line, these people need to continuously be in that rage because they will continue to contribute to that person's Cash App, Patreon, or whatever, and continue to listen to whatever this person is spewing. Like, almost like an echo chamber. Just like you got some people who are peddling black pills, but they're just like, but it's just like, low grade shit, But it's not to help people out. It's more to just make money off of this shit. They are exploitive. They're trying to exploit the situation. There's some con artists up in here. That's the problem, I think.
And the problem, half these motherfuckers don't even got scars. First of all,
physical, emotional, or psychological? We're talking.
I'm talking about both. You got. I mean, is everybody up here Gen X? In this
I'm a millennial. I'm
Gen X.
Gen X here.
Look.
87 born, so
all right.
Whatever that would be.
Yeah, you're millennial.
Look,
you're millennial.
My son is 12 years old right now. He's boxing. He's getting them scars right now, and when he get popped in the mouth or knocked the fuck out, and he learned how to handle setback, or when you're young, remember all of us when we had our first heartbreak, you got to develop those fucking scars. And half these people, either they're socially awkward, they're not going outside, they're probably on this computer all the time, and they haven't developed their socialization skills, and that's what's holding them back. You got to develop scars. Look, at the end of the day, in dick and pussy politics, everybody's going to take a fucking L, regardless. Nobody's going to bat 1,000. Everybody's going to take a L, regardless.
Some of us have gotten our scars through multiple rejections, of course, and then some of us, come from situations where
analyze it.
No, yeah, like I know. I'm not downplaying anything. I'm not trying to excuse anything here. I'm just adding a little nuance here, Louis. That's all. Just add a little something right there.
Oh yeah, like
you got guys who've been who are decent human beings, but they've been constantly rejected, and they realize, hey, I'm in the wrong place. I got to go where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated.
Yeah,
but unfortunately,
if that's what you have to do it.
Yeah.
If that's what you have to do, like, look, and this is where you gotta, like, where you hear the rhetoric, or where you should have chose better. You gotta, like, you gotta. We complain a lot of. I'm just saying in general. We complain so much about about the women, and allow them that complain. they should know what the signs are. And that's why I said they got to get out this red pill raging. Self-analyzation. Where do you make the mistakes at? Look at the fucking red flags that you missed. One of the best things that ever happened to me was when I got fucking therapy, because I thought I had PTSD from being in the Marine Corps. But when I went through therapy, I found out a lot of this shit stemmed from when I was growing up in Newark in the hood. That's where a lot of that shit stemmed from.
So you had post-traumatic, disorder.
If you grow up in the hood, you got PTSD.
Especially like the complex form.
No, like Angry Man said, I think it was today's show or yesterday's show. A normal life for a young black male is not the same normal life as anybody else's. What we may see as a normal childhood as a black male is a fucked up life for everybody else. But we got that Stockholm syndrome and everything, and we contextualize it as it's normal. A lot of us
been normalized because if you grew up in abuse and trauma, it's normal to you because
what's up,
you don't
Dr.
know
Thunder?
what Dr. Thunder's good. Oh, by the way, what's up, Charles? But what I'm saying is there's also a disorder called complex PTSD. That's a form of PTSD that's on developing minds. That's usually because you're exposed to constant trauma for a long-term basis, whether it's emotional, physical, or psychological abuse, and you start to develop maladaptive, responses to certain things. So that's what I mean by complex PTSD, as that is something I do have myself, really.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I mean by complex PTSD. So because if you were traumatized as a child, whether we're talking about emotional abuse by parent or physically abused by people, bullying, even sexually abused, you're going to develop, it's like long-term constant abuse and trauma. You're going to develop maladaptive responses to any triggers you have because your mind was warped while you were developing and such.
Oh, I was abused
growing up because your mind is.
And when I went through therapy, that's where I had to come to terms with a lot of that stuff, because I was abused as a child, and I locked it up in my brain housing group, and that had contributed to a lot of mistakes that I made in life. And when I went through therapy and started addressing those issues, a lot of things turned out better for me.
Especially if you're younger, because especially if you get help from a young age, because you learn new skills of how to overcome it. I went through therapy myself, but it was mostly as my late 20s because I was diagnosed initially with depression, but later turned out to be complex PTSD, as well as a personality disorder and a few other things, and anxiety disorders.
Let me read this. I ain't mean to cut you off, but
no. How about if I read it for you?
Yeah, go ahead and read it for me.
All right, so this from Dr. Thunder says, men and women are still not accustomed to hearing men express their experiences. When women do it, it's called organizing. When we do it, it's called whining and complaining. And that is a societal thing when you think about it, because society needs men to be the drones, the worker bee, the workers in society, because it's mostly the men who keep the society running. But they sometimes forget that our well-being is important. But they think because there's plenty of us there, we're all replaceable. Not really, especially nowadays with the job market being what it is, and so many people are refusing to work because they're working, complaining because the benefits are being being reduced. People are getting reduced working hours, reduced wages, and so on and so forth, and reduced benefits.
And I get it. I get it. There are some people there are some men who have persevered and made it through, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it made it through their trauma, made it through their difficulty. But there are so many men that, they're going through what we went through and they don't
Mm-hmm.
know what the hell is going on, because there's this expectation that was set for them. And, they have this difficult time meeting it because they don't know what, to do with what they're experiencing and what exists right now. So, they don't have spaces like this. They don't have wise male figures in their lives. And,
Mm-hmm.
they're in constant turmoil. So you can't,
Not to mention being hamstrung every step of the way.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you're telling folks to, we they constantly tell me, hey, you know what, maybe you just go ahead, just alpha your way through it because nobody gives a fuck
Mm-hmm.
about what you're going through. And I mean, that's good advice for some, but for what about the ones who can't emotionally handle it? Do we just say, hey, fuck that, you're a pussy? I mean,
And this is where we need a space where a honest space where there's no ulterior motives by nobody, where
Mm-hmm.
men can be honest and vulnerable with somebody, like you have fellow brothers that is going to listen and not what's the word I'm looking for, be
Not
judgmental
judge
of
you,
them. Yes.
not be judgmental.
because
Where and with us a lot, sorry Kev, where a lot of us, we have a lot, all of us, a lot of times we fall short. We'll be very judgmental on
Mm-hmm.
someone, and that causes that person to close back up. We gotta like have a, well, a lot of us as men, we have to be compassionate to each other.
I think that's the problem right there, Louis, because a lot of us, and I gotta go to this, like, what's his name? What's the name of the journalist? Dark skinned brother with glasses. He's a contributor on CNN. Van something.
oh, I know who you're talking about.
He did an interview. Okay, I remember when he did an interview for Busta Rhymes after he dropped his album back in October 2020. Extension Level Eternal 2.
My Van Jones.
Yeah, Van Jones. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
In that interview, there was an excerpt where they talk where where Busta said black men have to go it alone sometimes. What he meant was the burden that black men have to deal with, especially in the U.S. and in Canada and certain countries as well, is that you cannot express your feelings to the next man for fear that the other man, even if he was to help you out, the biggest fear is that he may use that against you, like a woman would, or hold that over you and try to manipulate you like that. You know what I'm saying? So the lack of trust among themselves, is why it's hard for brothers to find spaces like this where we can come together, try to figure things out, because you don't know if that is actually if because a lot of people are programmed to see black men are programmed to see other black men as the whatchamacall as competition.
Yeah, we what we have with black men, we have this I am him shit going on. It's just we it's like you were saying, we sort of lack empathy toward each other,
Hmm.
because some of us, and I'm gonna ahead and say this, some of us are tough. Some of us are tough. We grew up tough. We weren't allowed to express ourselves. We had to alpha our way through it, and
Hmm.
there was nobody there for us to say, hey, just to let us know, hey, bruh, you can pull back. Things are okay. You can slow down a little bit. You can
Yeah.
relax. It's okay to feel this way. gonna confess something to you guys. I don't know what empathy feels like. You know, all of my life, you know, I've had that. I've tried to tell people about my problems. I've tried to express myself in a way to even friends, and it's just like
Mhm.
everywhere I used to go, there would be this coldness. Like, we just don't understand you. We don't understand what you're going through. So I had to, instead of just sitting there and crying about it, I had to say, you know what, fuck it. I just got to be a cold person myself. And that's really
Mhm.
not the answer, but it helped me survive, knowing that, nobody really gave a shit about how you feel. And like, I don't
Mhm.
want that for most or all brothers. I don't want that for them. It doesn't make you tough.
No.
It makes you suppress something that's gonna come out one day. And when it comes out,
It's you.
it may be horribly detrimental to you. It's like, you have to have the right people in your life, or
Mhm.
or you could
Mhm.
be a person that, from time to time doesn't give a shit about anyone else's feelings, that doesn't
Mhm.
empathize. And I mean, like, I had to get through that kind of coldness in order to get to the point where I am today, to where I can share things with people and I can say, hey brother, it's okay, I know how you feel. Is
Mhm.
just that, it was to the point
Mhm.
where I didn't give a shit about how anyone felt, and I knew deep down in my heart that that wasn't the right way to feel. It wasn't. So I mean,
I can I can also add a little something to that. Like in some cases, you get laughed at,
yeah, yeah,
you get mocked for it because I was open and honest of who I was, but I was honest and open about who I was to an extent, and I was confused. Although I was trying to figure out a lot of confusion. There's confusing times where I was coming up when I was coming up, but everybody else looked at me strange. In fact, I got thought of as immature, some cases effeminate
ugh,
because of it, and
I mean,
coming from through a very conservative society myself. I am black, but not ADOS. I'm East African,
mm,
although I was born abroad overseas. Um, just knowing that, I know what it is to be of my ilk, but because I have a different mindset, different mentality, it made me kind of stronger. But I also understood that we were all living on the edge of sorts.
yeah,
And when I left, I live. I'm mostly surrounded around white people now. It's like
yeah. I mean,
I'm well aware that what they're going to look at me, they're going to have some misconceptions about me. But I do have an edge over my own comrades. I'm on my own countrymen because I know how to integrate with other people. But my mental health issues have kind of hamstrung me in a way. But the fact that I own up to it, and while others are completely in denial because there's a stigma about it, that's kind of left me kind of like in a very compromised situation of sorts. But I understand that, there are people I can be honest with it about this, others I don't.
mm, you have to,
But here's an aspect.
You can't be open to everybody.
yeah, you have to
No, I
be
can't.
careful. You have to be
Yeah,
careful who you open up to,
very careful,
because
very careful.
because
Because,
people weaponize that shit against you.
like I said, yeah, just like I said earlier. But what I also wanted to add was, oh, can I read a grown man's in? Can I
Yeah,
read the comment,
grown
please?
man business. Good to see you, brother.
All right.
Good to see you, brother.
Grown man business says it's the reality of being a man. It's a cold, lonely world. You have to learn to find comfort in your own company. Some people can't find that's the problem. When you try to find comfort in your own in your solitude, it means you have to come face to face with your own truth. You have to come face to face with
And so
what
sometimes,
situation you're in. And some
and,
people don't want to do that, so they try to self-medicate. Or they engage in risky behaviors because It's like Carl Jung said, thinking is hard. That's why a lot of people just,
That's why a lot
like
of
to
people don't.
criticize.
That's why a lot of
No,
people
it's just,
do it.
yeah, a lot of people don't. They don't want to think because they don't want to come to terms because you're afraid that, you're just going to see more vulnerability. But I'm like, in my own solitude, I've been able to come to terms with a lot of things and think. That's why I'm unfazed by a lot of things.
Yeah, man.
Well, go ahead, Kev.
Yeah,
Sorry.
man. Like I remember times where it was like, when I was living on my own before I met my wife, and we had our beautiful daughter, that I used to like it got to the point where, you know, I didn't see it as loneliness. I saw it as solitude. And I used to enjoy that solitude. And then like when it got to the point where, people would actually start to come around and hang out and everything, shit, it's almost like I was a hermit. It's like I ain't want these folks around because I enjoyed the comfort of my own solitude. It allowed me to think and put things into perspective. I mean, but I get where you're coming from, and sometimes
Hmm.
it does help for, to have a ear that is willing to listen.
Hmm.
This, yeah, grown man business said acceptance is the key. Yeah,
Hey, Kev, can I share
Absolutely.
something?
yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
What I used to do, because you mentioned that, what I used to do, and I have to go back to it. I got blackout curtains, and I used to sit on my couch in my living room in total darkness and just try to clear my mind, and I'd be so much at peace and content and just happiness by myself. Just silence in the dark, just focusing. When you had mentioned that was the first thing that came to my mind. Just relaxing, clearing my mind out and everything.
Yeah, and don't
Simon and Garfunkel, anybody?
Simon and Garfunkel.
The
Yeah, man.
sound of silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, it's I don't know. Sometimes things like that, going through things, make us stronger. Sometimes we need people to be strong for us. But yeah, this show is almost 3 hours, so yeah, I'm
Uh,
probably gonna go ahead and wrap it up, right? And,
right.
so we can get some final statements from you, gentlemen. Or
Well,
Uh,
thank you for having me up. It was an honor and a privilege. And what my parting words is, be good to others, but first be good to yourself. And good night.
absolutely. Thank you for those wise words, Mr. Conyer, and hopefully we'll see you again over here.
mm,
So you're always welcome.
mm.
All right. What about you, Neymar?
Well, I'm just going to say this. A quote from the late Patrice O'Neill talks about priorities. I'm sure you're going to be laughing in agreement about it. He said, when he explained, like he said, he told his girl that she was like the fourth or fifth most important thing in his life. Because you see, he said, it's me, my career, my mother, and then you. Because it's a trickle down thing. Because a happy man is a happy everything. When you're happy, you can you're okay, take care of yourself, you can handle your business, support the people you need to be with, and then everything else works out peacefully. So if you ain't happy, man, you got to find your happiness within yourself. It's not from external; it's internal. It's a state of mind. So when you're happy, you're gonna want to spread it around everyone else. So put yourself first, above everything, because all you got is you at the end of the day. First person and last person you see in the mirror is you.
All right.
Jeff,
Absolutely.
it's a pleasure to be here. You have a blessed evening. Have a blessed week as well.
All right. Yeah, you do the same. You Yeah, funny thing that he should say about mirrors because most people don't like to look into a mirror. And what I'll say is this in closing: there are many that are going to sit here and try to mute the black man's voice. These smoke show Sundays, I put this together to kind of be a remedy to the fuckery, but a lot of the times the shows can turn into something else. And the testimony that we got tonight from Mr. Brian Snow of Snowman Multimedia, it was something that wasn't expected, but something that was much needed. It let me know that if I'm ever sad or complaining about something, I could just refer back to what he went through. And, the world, you know, starts to look like a much better place. And, I can consider how lucky I am, to have the things that I have in my life. But as far as the original topic, there are always going to be people that don't empathize with you, that don't want your voice out there. And my suggestion to black men is you don't listen to those ignorant pieces of shit, and you keep moving forward and you keep pressing on because, I mean, what are you without it? Especially on platforms such as this. The reason why that many of these things are so problematic for young black men is because you got men out here that didn't have the nuts to tell you the truth. And but I'm here to tell you guys that listen to me and listen to this broadcast that I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy at all. If I have shit to get off my chest and I believe that it could help the people who are listening, god damn it, I'm going to say it. Period. And I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna be a simp in front of you guys. I'm not gonna let a female take lead to where I can affect better change because a lot of you guys out there, you do you can't move, you can't breathe, you can't piss without a female's approval. And what I'm here to tell you guys is that's bullshit. We've been through that long enough. It's time to take the bulls by the horns, all of them, all the bulls, bullshit, whatever. It's just that we have a voice that is needed out there, and if you don't believe that, then this may not be the place for you. Well, for those of you who believe that, then yeah, you come to the right place. Um, I'm not gonna do anything that'll steer you guys in the wrong. I'm not gonna say things that's gonna steer you guys in the wrong direction. And I'm not saying that you gotta agree with me on everything that I say, but I'm just here to let you know that my intentions are genuine, and I do care about where black men are at this point in history, where we're going to end up 5 years from now, where we're going to end up 10 years from now, and where the next generation might end up. So this stuff is very important. People try to minimize this shit to, well, it's just social media. Y'all out here complaining and crying. I mean, to those people, fuck you, because I'm here and you should be saying the same thing. But you can handle it how you want to, and I'll handle it the way I see fit. So anyway, I would like to thank you guys for coming to another Smoke Show Sundays. Like I said, that you can become a member of this channel, and I will continue to bring you content. So I'm going to end it with this. Long live the habitual line steppers and Kev we trust. And when you don't give up, like Snowman, when you don't give up, you definitely will win. Peace out until tomorrow night.